So today I wanted to talk about mind wandering and thinking on purpose. And I think this is a really important topic that isn't really given much emphasis for the most part, not entirely in the world of spirituality, but I know the power of thinking on purpose is so extraordinary that I just wanted to talk about it from my personal experience and perhaps inspire you to, direct and manage your creative energy more intentionally. So one of the lines in A Course in Miracles is, "You are far too tolerant of mind wandering." And I completely agree. Mind wandering, right? If you think about yourself in the astral world, right? When you think of something, you're there, and then you think of another thing and you're there, and then you're there, and then you're there, and then you're there. Well, that's what your mind is doing when it's wandering. You are exhausting yourself and draining your energy, right? Traveling all over the place. And if you notice, right, even if you've been observing your mind, like if you have found the perspective of the observer, observation becomes tiring, right? Because your energy is going everywhere all day long and it's repeating yesterday's conversations or defending itself or talking to itself about itself or talking to others or replaying events, right? It's just looping on past events, or for some people on catastrophic possibilities in the future, or trying to manipulate, plan, and control the future. So if all of our energy is wandering all day, right, we are not utilizing the leverage of presence and focus, right? This is an obvious thing. But really what I'm trying to inspire with this video is truly develop a discipline to not allow your mind to wander. And in the same vein, right, develop a discipline to really release your addictions from distractions. So let's say you honestly, we all have distractions. Let's say you have habits during the day where you scroll on social media or you tune into things that upset you. Instead of going into activity, right, to feed that demon, cut off the fuel, right, cut off the distraction and be with the emotion that you are avoiding. Why? Well, when you release the energy of that emotion, you're not going to have to numb out and go into kind of like mediocre behavior, numbing behavior. And I'm not judging this. It's just, this is like an inspiration and a recommendation, right? If you kind of want to really experience the power of focus and thought, one of the necessary steps is that you decide to restrict your distractions, right? And in the moment that you want to go into a distracting activity, feel your emotions so that you can release the energy that creates all of that distracting, wandering dialogue in the first place. When we actually sit with our emotions, they don't rise up into the mind and create dialogue. So every time you sit with energy within yourself, you are dispersing and releasing so much creative energy that you can actually use to direct, right? To actually even think. Yogananda said, and I've said this in other videos, that yes, we do create our reality, but we don't have the bandwidth to focus our mind to create our reality, right? And that's one of the purposes of spiritual practice, is to transmute energy so that it's not distracting us and putting us into repression or reaction or activity. So we have to begin to sit with ourselves. We have to be able to, right, feel a vibration, right? Feel that vibration of annoyance or boredom, right? And just cut off the distraction that we go into and just feel it completely so that the energy can disperse and turn itself into creative energy. That's really one of the most important things or aspects of even having the ability to focus your mind. You need to stop distracting and numbing yourself and release the energy that creates excessive mental dialogue. So when you really commit to that, what you will find is that you will have the ability to program your reality, right? If that's an experience that you would like to have, to experience the creative power of thought. I talked about in my last video, the creative power of the thought, the universe loves me. The universe loves me is one of the most important thoughts that we can believe and eventually come to know, because so much of our fear and resistance comes from assuming that we are separate from life and therefore victims of life, and that we are being punished by God or the universe or ourselves or whatever iteration, right? It's appearing in you. So when you have the bandwidth to focus your mind, you literally have the ability to bypass so much resistance and so much wasted energy. Because if you take the time upon waking, upon sleeping, upon meditating to fire and wire in your mind, the universe loves me. I am loved. I am deeply loved, right? I am deeply known and deeply loved. What is the result of putting that thought in your mind? I am deeply loved. Well, you're going to do a lot less trying to prove yourself. You're going to do a lot less trying to validate your existence. You're going to try a lot less. You're going to trust a lot more. You're going to waste a lot less energy, right? You're going to have so much more vital energy to actually be able to unfold into the present moment and enjoy your life right now. So, you know, if you've ever tried to work with affirmations and it just feels frustrating to you or annoying or futile, it's because your bandwidth is not yet available enough to put enough power behind that affirmation. Because if you're saying an affirmation like, oh, yeah, the universe loves me, that's what I've heard, that, like, I'll just believe that today. But then all day long, you know, when you have a condition in your life, whether it's a health symptom, whether it's a challenge with a partner or a business partner or a friend, and you feel attacked by life, right? You must not really know that the universe is love, and that is what you are, that you are love and the universe is love, and that you as an individual are deeply loved. If you feel attacked by life, you do not know that the universe loves you. So the power of that thought is mighty, because it releases so much resistance and so much sloppiness and so much unnecessary chaos from your life. Affirmations, right? When you have really liberated your bandwidth, right? By sitting with your emotions, by releasing trauma from your body. Affirmations, all of them feel true. All of the loving ones feel true. And it's actually pretty fun to go on a walk, right? Do you walk your dog? Do you go for a drive? And instead of, you know, just letting your mind wander, right? Remember, that's the other essential part, is restricting your distractions and feeling your emotions and having a discipline not to let your mind wander. Instead of letting your mind wander, drop your awareness into your heart and affirm something that you want to be true in your life. Affirm something that you would like to experience in your life, and really feel the power within you sponsoring that thought, right? The more you decide to not let your mind wander, the more you decide to not go into numbing and distraction, and you actually liberate the only thing that's preventing you from experiencing more joy and abundance in your life, which is those vibrations that you are avoiding, the vibrations that you are denying. Once you actually have the discipline and you come to the decision where you will allow yourself to release these energies, I mean, you can get to the point where you really have a thought and things manifest instantaneously. And what is the value of understanding yourself as a manifester? Well, if you're no longer in survival and you're no longer worrying about survival issues, then you have more to give. You have more to express. You have more of your essence is actually radiating into your reality. And that in and of itself is the most maximal service that we can provide any other being, is to radiate the song of our soul into our reality. So in a nutshell, do not let your mind wander to the best of your ability. Don't just observe the mind, stop it, right? Interrupt it, stop it. Put your awareness in your heart. Think a thought on purpose. At the beginning of this, it might feel like a discipline and it might feel like an effort. But over time, right, when you show your subconscious mind that you want to unite with it by not letting it run the whole show, right? You're not wanting to just let your conditioning run the whole show. If your presence is not in your occupying your mind and body, the only thing that can run the show in your life is your conditioning. The only thing that can make choices in your life is your conditioning. You do not have free will unless you are occupying the mind and the body. So this message is an inspiration. Occupy your mind. Upon waking and upon sleeping, program important constructs into your mind, like I am deeply loved, the universe loves me, right? What other thoughts are important to you, constructs that you would like to actually experience in your life? The universe loves me really does tend to take care of so much resistance in my experience, as I've shared in the last video that I created. But ask your higher self, right? Ask your higher self, what is a construct that could majorly, if I put it in my mind, that could majorly transform my life? I am free. What's the consequence of knowing I am free? Well, you no longer feel obligated to stay in friendships or relationships that feel unnatural or hurtful to you. You don't feel obligated to do anything, actually. You don't feel obligated to stay at an event or a dinner or a wedding longer than you naturally feel like it. You don't feel obligated to show up in your life in a certain way, to do a certain job, right? And therefore you have so much more free energy. You have so much more free energy. How about I can have anything that I desire? That is not a shallow belief, because when you can show yourself that by aligning your mind, right, you can lift your existence out of survival, then you can really express the essence of who you are. You can really express the essence of who you are and give the song of your soul to this world if you really show yourself that you are a creator. So again, no mind wandering, or to the best of your ability. I am very disciplined in my life. So when I say no mind wandering, that's real for me. My mind does not wander because I don't allow it to, because I want all the parts of me to be one, right? And if my mind tries to wander, I bring it back and I bring it back and I bring it back. And what I've noticed is that I'm naturally occupying my mind and actually using it instead of me as the separate observer, observing it chatting all day. By deciding that I will occupy my mind, think on purpose, program constructs into my mind, right? When my brain waves are especially slow in meditation, upon waking and upon sleeping, I'm naturally just here, and the expression of myself is effortless. So I hope I have inspired you to maybe take your practice to the next level. If you've been observing your mind, if you've been observing yourself to try to become aware of things, take it a step further and occupy the mind. If you literally feel yourself occupying the mind, like your mind will just stop. Your mind will just stop. If you feel yourself occupying your heart, your mind will just stop. And I'm not necessarily saying to never, that your mind should like never for 1 second be chatting and, replaying yesterday or doing whatever it does. Although you can get to that place, but to the best of your ability, don't distract yourself and numb out. Don't let your mind wander. Use your mind on purpose, right? Instead of like tuning into things like that are mediocre, right? Like, and when I say mediocre, I mean, they're just serving to numb you out or what. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we work hard and the pendulum swings the other way and we need to just sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm not saying don't enjoy, but what I'm saying is use your mind more often in terms of exploring your interests, in terms of learning things. Every time we learn something new, our brain creates physical connections. It literally looks like little hands holding, right? What does that mean? Like, that's a holographic, that's evidence that knowledge and focus actually builds more connections inside of our own brain, between the hemispheres of our brain, between the heart and the brain. And I could go on and on about this, but I just wanted to inspire whoever this may, you know, inspire. It's a big change. It's a big milestone in your life as a creator to take this step, right, of lessening distractions, occupying the mind, not letting your mind wander, using your mind more intentionally, setting more intentions in your life, right? If you have trouble feeling your emotions, set the intention. I will to the best of my ability feel my emotions today. I will to the best of my ability be keenly aware of how I truly feel today. I will to the best of my ability not distract myself and investigate and discover maybe some of the feelings that I'm avoiding so that I can reclaim that creative bandwidth. I hope that this is helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful day.